I've got to be real with you guys. Sometimes the lights are so bright, I feel like I can't keep my eyes open. Maria here, welcome to my channel. Today I am excited to share with you the fragrances that I wore for this week. I had an amazing week, so I can't wait to share with you. But before I get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that button. Join the Weird and Wonderful family. We are an amazing bunch of positive, diverse, awesome people that you need to be a part of. And without further ado, let's get into this. So the first fragrance that I wore, and I actually wore it a couple times, maybe I even wore it 3 times, like whatever my fragrance would wear out, I would try it because I'm trying to like it. Trying to give it a lot of chance, and that is YARA by LATTAFA. This fragrance, people say that it's like a berries and cream fragrance. I find it kind of sharp. So there is a powdery quality to it. So when I spray it on my skin, sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. Now it's got kind of like a berry feel to it, a little bit lactonic, a little bit powdery. That's kind of your main focal points. But there's also kind of a sharp kind of musky feel in it as well that I'm just not vibing with. One day I enjoyed wearing it. The next day I was like, no, not at all. I certainly don't like the opening. So when I first spray it on the skin, you have to let it kind of settle. Otherwise you just get straight up like alcohol, nail polish remover, that kind of feel. But once that dries down, and sometimes with more inexpensive fragrances, that is what you get in the opening, because there's maybe a higher concentration of alcohol. So you let it settle. And then I can see this being a mass appealing fragrance. So like there's so much hype around this fragrance right now. It's only 30 bucks, I think. I'm not sure it's worth it. That said, my friend Val, she just bought one. She smelt mine and she was like, and then she got one and she is in love with it. Like it's like berries and cream all the way. So it is possible that each batch might differ. So I want to smell hers to see if it's like this one, and if not, I'll report back. But yeah, I'm going to keep trying it because there's something about it that I like, and I think it may be a better fragrance for like spring and summer for me. But yeah, so far, like I wouldn't spend 30 bucks on this. Like the only reason why I'm giving it so many chances is because I have it. So I want to like it. So I had a doctor's appointment, not my doctor's appointment, but, my child's doctor appointment. And so I wanted to smell professional as usual. So I wore COCO Mademoiselle, and honestly, it is such a gorgeous fragrance. I always enjoy wearing it. It's feminine, it's mood boosting, it lasts forever, but it's also very, very classy. The longer I have this one, the more warm it seems to get. So definitely I'm getting more vanilla in it than I did in the past. So the vanilla is definitely coming out to play, but of course you've got that warm orange citrus in this one as well. Loved wearing this. It smelled great all day. I think it was Julie from Quebec suggested putting it with a vanilla. I think it was her, maybe it was someone else. It had already worn down enough that the vanilla just came out more so. So I am gonna try it where I pair COCO Mademoiselle with a vanilla and see how that works. I think it'll actually be amazing. Next fragrance that I tried, and again, it was phenomenal, was KAYALI's Vanilla Royale Sugared Patchouli 64. I am so in love with this fragrance. Now, I know it doesn't work for everybody because it is, that patchouli pretty strong in there. So I find the patchouli to just add a bit of spiciness, a little bit of warmth, a little bit of a chocolatey feel, honestly. So I really, I love this fragrance. So I put it on. I find it to be extremely long lasting, and you're getting like this delicious rum and a creme brulee and just all these yummy notes, but with this patchouli base that comes across just slightly smoky. So for those of you that don't like any sort of smoke or like an incense feel or a bit leathery almost, this would be not for you. So if you find those notes to be too masculine, then this would likely not be up your alley, but I think it's so exceptional, so delicious, so luxurious. It's absolutely worth getting if you like, kind of like, if you're into more mysterious, dark, oudy type fragrances. This is spectacular. Now, it's been like -14 to -19 here Celsius, so it's freezing. Thankfully, next week it's supposed to warm up, but it's like the dead of winter here. It just stinks. I thought we were starting to get spring. All the snow almost melted. Now all you see is white outside. I'm looking out my window right now. All I see is white, and it's not very fun because it's just so cold. So I needed something cozy, so I went with Princess by Kilian. This, oh my goodness, this is such a gorgeous fragrance. So this gives me the same vibe as something like a Lyra does. So that cozy, kind of delectable, gourmand feel, a little bit, not, this one isn't really smoky, but there is kind of a little bit of a, I don't know, there's just something in there that's just so decadent and delicious. So this is a matcha tea fragrance, but it has peach, there's ginger in it, there's marshmallow, so it's sweet. There's a bit of like kick to it with that ginger, but just ever so slightly. The peach comes out. I find it extremely mouth-watering. It's cozy, it's feminine, it's slightly flirty. I find this one to be very, very comforting, and I'm sad that I only have a decant. I'm down to about 4 mils left in this, and then I will likely have to get a full bottle because I just absolutely love this. So you guys know I always like to bring you some new fragrances, and because I got this beautiful discovery kit from Nuit Nomade, I wanted to try a couple more of the fragrances in here. The first one I tried was Suma Oriental. This one has cypriol, rum, and cacao in the opening, which is right up my alley. The heart notes are patchouli, and then the base is sandalwood, tonka bean, cashmere wood, gaiac wood, and musk. So this one opens so sweet and delicious. I definitely get those opening notes. So the rum and the cacao really come out, and it seriously, it smells so delectable. Now, as this dries down, the patchouli, I would say, is honestly a bit of a dirty patchouli. So in the dry down, it felt almost like an oud that's pretty skanky. That said, like, okay, it's coming out a little bit now. Yeah, this little bit of a, like, it doesn't smell like gaiac wood. So to me, this didn't smell like a burning type wood. So that's definitely not majorly coming out, but it's probably a mixture of that and the patchouli in particular. It comes across a little bit like a skanky oud. So a little bit barnyardy, just ever so slightly. And I just love it. Like, I love this one. It's probably leaning a little bit masculine, but I would definitely wear this. I find it uber sexy. I find it intoxicating because of that rum and cacao. It's definitely different, like nothing I've smelt before. Lasted so long on the skin. This would definitely be a fragrance that is more for an evening. And absolutely more of a colder weather fragrance. So perfect for this time of year. Yeah, this is definitely one that I'm very interested in. That said, I would say that it wouldn't be mass appealing, especially for women. So this is a risky buy as a woman, and that's why the discovery kits are good, but would be so sexy on a guy. So I love it. That was my first wear. I want to give it another wear. Like, a lot of times what I'll do is when I'm testing out fragrances, I'll spray it on the skin, but I won't spray it all over until I know for sure that I like it. So now that I know that I actually like this one, I will wear it at some point again and really douse myself in it to see how I do, because it's a little bit kind of, I don't know, a little bit skanky there in the deep dry down, but I was kind of living for it. So Suma Oriental by Nuit Nomade. Now, complete departure. In this one, I literally sprayed it everywhere. And it was, again, it's a sample from Nuit, Nomade, and it's called Nothing But Sea and Sky. This one is a more simple composition. It's got Italian bergamot, Australian sandalwood, and white musks. So on the opening, definitely get the bergamot, especially on the card. On my skin, I didn't get as much bergamot. It just went straight to the musk. This is quite a musky, fresh fragrance. I would consider it a freshie. To begin with, it comes across a little bit masculine, but as it dries down on the skin, kind of sweetens up. That sandalwood comes out a little bit more. The musk is definitely present. So if you like freshies, like this would be so, so great in the summer. It would be so great in warmer climates. When it opens up, I get kind of a lot of musk. And then it smells like kind of freshy musk. So a little bit prickly, and I feel like it almost feels as if there would be salt in there, although that's not listed in the notes, but it kind of gives me that salt spray feel in the opening. As it dries down, a little bit more of that sandalwood comes out, a little bit more, like the musk stays, but more of that sandalwood comes out. And it sweetens up on the skin. So at first it smells kind of a little bit prickly, kind of a little bit salty, or it smells more fresh, and it smells a little bit more masculine leaning. Now, as it dries down, that sandalwood kind of comes a little bit more to play. The musk kind of mellows out, and it just becomes this beautiful kind of sweetish, musky sandalwood on the skin. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Definitely more for warmer weather, in my opinion. So interestingly, the inspiration of this was a blizzard sprinkling a beach. So kind of an interesting concept. Definitely get like it on the cap, definitely get that bergamot. So I want to try this during the warmer weather because I have a feeling that bergamot's going to come out a bit more. Definitely enjoyed the dry down more than the opening, but want to give this one a go again. This one is not my usual type of fragrance profile. Like, I'm not a huge fan of freshies, so I don't think that this would be one that I would purchase. If you like freshies though, it's a really interesting one, and it seemed to last on the skin even though it was really cold here. So I want to give it a try when it gets a lot warmer. So the last fragrance that I wore this week was La Nuit TRESOR à la FOLIE. Now, I thought that this would be kind of my winter La Nuit TRESOR vanilla, and then the La Nuit TRESOR nude would be kind of my spring summer. I actually have a feeling that this is going to work really, really well in the spring when it warms up a little bit. So it's fine in the colder weather, but there's something that's a little bit airy about this one. It's a bit powdery, but it's got that beautiful, delectable fruit in it. There's a slight tartness with the fruit. The vanilla is kind of a little bit more of a powdery vanilla, so it's a very soft, feminine fragrance. And I have a feeling it's going to be absolutely amazing in the spring. So when it's not super duper hot, but like warmer than what we've got right now, I think that this is going to blossom even more. So can't wait to try it in that weather. Yee! And yeah, I just really enjoy it. You get a bit of a tartness in the opening with that fruit, and then this kind of warm, soft, almost fuzzy vanilla comes to play. The vanilla is quite powdery, but there is kind of like a little bit of a mouth-watering, intoxicating feel with the fruits in there. So excited to have this one, but I'm really excited to try it in the spring, like just in that slightly more warm weather. I'm sure this one's gonna just bloom. So yay! And that is it. Those are the fragrances that I wore for the week. What about you? What was your major hit? To be honest, this week I have 3 hits. Loved wearing COCO Mademoiselle. Loved wearing Vanilla Royale Sugared Patchouli. But like honestly, the big star of the show was that Suma Oriental, because I couldn't wrap my head around it and kind of am in love with it, even though it smells a little, I don't know, there's something in it that's just a little bit, you know, barnyardy or whatever. Like, I get that vibe, but I Unlike in some fragrances where I'm like, no, that smells like poo. This doesn't smell like that. This is good. Like there's something really good. Earthy, that would be the word I'd use. It's quite earthy. So can't wait to try that one again. Really fascinating fragrance. What I like about it is that it's so different. Like I haven't smelled anything like that. And I really love that in fragrances. So some fragrances are mass appealing. Some fragrances are a little bit more complicated, a little bit more intriguing. This is one of those. It's a fragrance that I just kept going back to and sniffing the whole entire time it was on my arm. So that was really enjoyable, like just seeing how it developed over time. So really, really enjoyed wearing that fragrance and didn't really have a miss this week. Like it all kind of worked out great. What about you? Did you have a miss? If you had a miss, leave it. If you had a real major success, leave it in the comments as well. And as per usual, all these fragrances will be listed down below. And if you check below the listed fragrances, there's coupon codes for some of them. So always check the whole entire thing. Make sure you don't miss out on a coupon code if there's one available. And that is it. I hope you have an amazing week and we'll talk to you soon.